Yeah. So this is a thing. Okay, I did not expect to do another one of these VTubers thoughts videos right after like days after doing the first one, which did pretty well by the way. But this morning from time of recording on was it October 20th, 2013. When is 2013? 2023. Sorry, it's very late at night for me. Um Nijisanji sorry, there we go. Nijisanji announced that three of their talents would be graduating. Mika Metallica, and I forget the other two, I guess the last names I suppose, but Zia and Rixa. Mika's the one we're worried about now, though we will talk about kind of what's going on with the other three. So what the crap is going on? Okay, so Mika said, well, Niji said that three of them would be are done. They're graduating, they're done, they're leaving the company, all that good stuff by the end of the year. I believe one at the end of October, one in November next, and then Mika in December. I think Mika's the middle one actually. I should have actually recorded because I have notes and I did not record what time they would actually be done. You know what dates they would actually be done. But get the meat and potatoes out the way. Mika knew to some extent for a while that she would be graduating and that she achieved all her goals. Goals. What am I talking about? She said that she um let me move all this so that everything is good. There we go. There we go. There we go. She said she lost her spark. She said that she was doing these like big event type streams, but then after she achieved all the things she wanted to achieve, she started doing less and, less of that. It was more free chats and simulator type games. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Nijisanji, right? So you lost. So you lost Nina, you lost Mista. Now you're losing three of your ID people. By the way, that's actually kind of important here how they're kind of phrasing it, how they're phrasing Nijisanji ID. So a while ago, they ended up merging ID and Korea together into one branch. Matter of fact, I think it got combined with Japanese in general, so it's basically just a Southeast Asian thing. And but for this announcement, what they did is they specifically said ID. Like Nijisanji ID released it first, and then it was then released in Japanese. And us Americans, we didn't get anything, so someone else had to translate it and then put it all over Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that. And I'm trying to figure out why. Right? I'm trying with my very limited I don't have insider knowledge about what's going on in Nijisanji, so I'm just using information and trying to like guessing backwards essentially. So K9 Kuro, Matara-kan, obviously. They used to be part of Nijisanji. They're gone from there now. Now part of the Shoujo. They cited burnout. They both cited that they were just going to chill, do their thing. They didn't want to do the rat race anymore. Fair enough. Fair enough. And so they were burnt out. They weren't burnt out of streaming. They were burnt out of Nijisanji bullshit. And I think this is more of it. Why are they cutting down on people? I think that this was what I'm trying to say is I'm not entirely convinced that this was entirely Mika's choice. Now she know I have no evidence of this. I'm just inferring, right? Because if this were an isolated incident and she just decided, okay, I'm going to graduate, right? Why would it be announced at the same time as everybody as the other two people from the same former branch, by the way, right? So Niji Sanji is going ahead and taking the axe to people. And what I think is Niji Sanji was taking the axe to people. Mika's name came up, but there's an addition to this theory. I want to believe, because this was what I would do if I were in charge, is they gave Mika the option, okay, look, you do basically all English content. Do you want to move over to the GEN? Do your thing there. And I think she said no. Because she went on in her stream that, this was her choice. This was a decent time coming. Granted, in May, she did say she was going to be here for a good chunk, so I'm not exactly sure how good that is. But that's the first possibility. The first possibility is that some people from ID were being axed. She was offered a new contract into Niji or something, or just new contract in general, or new contracts are making the rounds. This is the time of year where they do it, and she just said no. And two other people just also so happened to do it at the same time. Fair enough. She also said that the reasons for her leaving were obvious. I'm not entirely sure what she means by that. I'm not that big. Well, I am a big Mika fan, but I'm not there for every stream, obviously, right? I'm not there for every stream. So I'm not sure it has something to do with Matarakan and K9. I don't know. That's the most straightforward answer. But also, I'm really bad at predicting this stuff, so who the hell knows? And something to say, I was doing some research on this, is she is the biggest of the Indonesian Nijisanji creators. But overall, in Nijisanji as a whole, right? As a whole, she's ranked 80th. What I mean, she's ranked 80th. Well, I looked at basically a spreadsheet containing everyone's like sub counts, and she's number 80, which is like for Indonesia, she's the highest, but overall 80. That she's still in the upper half of she's still in the upper half of subscribe in terms of subscriber count, so absolutely great for her. Yes, that's still nothing to scoff at all. But maybe Niji Sanji, they're tightening the belt a little, tightening the belt. They looked at their numbers and they were seeing who was giving them the best value for money. The Indonesian creators weren't, so they decided to axe a few of them. I don't know why Mika's name came up. I'm not sure why Mika's name came up. She says that it was her choice. Okay. But then again, if it was truly her choice, then wouldn't it be isolated and not with either Zia or Rixa? Hmm. That's another thing to consider. And of course, there's the stuff that Sayu was saying about how Nijisanji's been acting. And I also have this other theory about, well, Nijisanji, but Japanese companies in general, right? And that theory is Japanese companies just as a whole, they have like this one or two ways they do something, and that's how the fuck they roll. You see it with, this is going to be a little off topic, but you see it with Nintendo and specifically Pokemon, right? They're still figuring things out that the rest of the world figured out 10, 15, 20 years ago. What do I mean by that? Multiple save files in a game, difficulty settings, options, level scaling, things like that. You know, modifiable timers in the match, right? We also had this recent stuff with Bandai and the Gundam Build Metaverse, how they're making like a sort of metaverse MMO style Gundam game, and they didn't encrypt their files properly, so news for a whole bunch of new Gunpla came out, and people are already bootlegging stuff, right? And with Nijisanji, how that relates to this is that something a lot of people have noticed, myself included, everyone says this, is that VTubing needs to be kind of revitalized. We need to branch out a little bit more, and I agree. I absolutely agree. Need to revitalize, do something new, and do something different. And a company's kind of the best place to do that. But when you look at places at Nijisanji in particular, because I'm not as into Hololive as I probably should, when you look at Nijisanji, everyone basically plays the same thing at the same time. Not necessarily in the same way, but everyone generally plays the same thing at the same time. The watermelon game, Jump King when that was out. I was trying to think of the other one. Oh well, it doesn't particularly matter. I made my point. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is there's a bit of creative bankruptcy there. Niji Sanji is very restrictive at what it lets its talents do. Inferring from what Matarakan and K9 said, I think that's the case. Inferring from what Sayu said, that appears to be the case. Niji-san has you know, this is how they roll. This is how they do it. Additionally, to put onto that, Polygon released an article with Iniji Santi talent, a current one. Who? We don't fucking know. They did it anonymously. And they were saying, yeah, things really need to change around here. Not necessarily around Niji Sanji, but around VTubing in general. We need some revitalization, some different kind of content. Right? We need some different kind of content. And I suppose, well, let's be honest, this is more VTuber news stuff, and this is not as good as something like False ID or or Kehoe. Nothing like that. I might end up getting myself fucking copyright struck. Oh well, it is what it is. But in that article, they were also citing, things of we need to be revitalized. You think a company would do that because a company could fund anything it wanted. But like I said, Nijisanji has this is the way they do things. This is the way they fucking roll. And if you don't like it, oh well. And that seems to be just a thing with Japanese companies in general. That's just something that a pattern that I've noticed. That's just a pattern that I've noticed. I'm not sure if I'm necessarily right. It's just a pattern that I've noticed here. So what does this mean going forward? Are we going to see another new addition to V Shoujo here in a couple of months? I don't know. I don't know. I forget like V Shoujo is incredibly. I don't want to say nepotistic. That makes it sound bad, but they recruit very, very intelligently and very not underhandedly, but very meticulously. They do. They plan it in a way. Now they said they were going to open auditions. They never did. They never have, and I don't think they ever will, because their plan is to just adopt stray VTubers, right? But they have to be of a certain popularity. They need to be super popular to do that. Mika's certainly popular. Like I said, she's 80th in Nijisanji as a whole, so I'm not sure she qualifies, whatever the qualification is. So I'm not necessarily sure V Shoujo would pick her up, but obviously people are seeing a pattern. If she isn't in Gunrun's DMs right now, I will be fucking surprised. If they aren't, if talks aren't being had, I will be fucking surprised. But my thing is, she says it's her choice, but the whole she's graduating at the same time as other people, that makes me raise an eyebrow. Or two, because I can only do one with this model. Or I can only do two with this model. I don't know anything about Zia and Rixa. That's I have their names written down here. But I'm trying to figure out okay. So where does Nijisanji go from here? They need a W. They need a W, straight up. They need some sort of big W, and I'm not sure necessarily what form that would take. Right? Because obviously revitalization in VTubing, right? Revitalization in the VTubing sphere. Nijisanji could do it. There are a couple of ways they could. A couple of ways anyone could really, but like I said, Japanese companies are very stiff with how they do things, and they do not like to change for anybody. And as a result, they can kind of be behind the times a bit. So are they really going to do it? It might be a case of one of their tasks just have to ask for forgiveness instead of permission. But what the hell is going on with Nijisanji? Where do they go from here? They need a dub. They need a dub. Is Mika going to be the next V Shoujo talent? I have no clue. I have no like. I'll rate it at about 65%. That's not great. That's not great. Like I said, I'm not sure Mika would because she always said she has her goals. She did them all. I don't know if she's going to go into retirement like the other two. I have no freaking clue. What does that mean for the other livers though? Obviously, I lost a bunch of my freaking Oshis this year, so I'm upset. But like I said in the last video, you really think Selene ain't paying attention? You really think Shu isn't paying attention? You really think I'm not sure Vox would leave. He has a pretty sweet deal. You really think people aren't paying attention? You're training your talent, people are taking your lunch money, and you need to dub with the goddamn. It's been a rough year for Nishi. It's been a rough freaking year, right? What I need to do with these episodes is I need to probably like stream. I've been trying to get these with a partner. I've been asking a couple of other VTubers, hey, do you want to come on the show? Um, one straight up said no, he's busy, fair enough. And then the other one ignored me. So it is what it is. It is what it is. If possible, I would like to stream this, but there ain't enough motherfuckers to make that work. But this will be the end of the video. Now, I should say, remember to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And remember, links to the Twitch, and I guess my Twitter and Discord, all that good stuff, are in the description down below. You'll see all that there if you want it. Episode 3 will be coming as soon as something else drops. And as for kind of the code of conduct for this kind of video, I want to keep it away from like schoolyard drama and bullshit, schoolyard gossip and bullshit drama. I want to keep it away from that. So like that one furry VTuber who didn't like Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to keep it away from like dogpiling on him. Especially since I kind of agree with him. And I play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I want to keep it away from dogpiling, from adding to drama. Like this isn't going to be a proper VTuber news channel. I want to try to keep this to stuff that's fun. So things that interest me. So Gundam, Halo, this series is about anything, but definitely this is important. This stuff that goes on with Nijisanji and VShojo and stuff. This is important for you. Sorry, not YouTubing, VTubing as a whole. So that's why we talked. But yes, Mika is graduating of all things. I honestly can't believe it. About to say, let's start a conversation. Go ahead and comment me your thoughts. What do you think about all the situation? Where's Nijisanji going? All that good stuff. You know, love reading the comments. And with that, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.